Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is so good to be here with you today. I am Leo.
And I am Emma. We are just so happy you could join us wherever you might be right now.
That's right. Maybe you're in the car, on your commute to work, just staring at the traffic. Or, maybe you're at home, washing the dishes, feeling that warm water on your hands.
Or maybe you're just out for a quiet walk, getting a bit of fresh air. Whatever it is you're doing, we're really glad you're here. We appreciate you spending your time with us.
Today, we have a topic that's it's a really special one. It's one of those things that sounds so simple on the surface.
Right.
But when you actually start to unpack it, it changes everything.
It really, really does. It's all about mindset. It's about how we choose to live our lives and, specifically how we approach a challenge like learning something new.
Like learning English, for example.
Exactly, like learning English. But before we get into, all the heavy stuff, I actually have a question for you and for everyone listening too.
Ooh, okay. I'm ready.
It's kind of a big one to start the day.
All right, hit me.
When was the last time you did something for the very first time?
Whoa. Okay. That is a big question. The last time I did something for the first time.
Just take a second, really think about it.
You know what? It's actually harder to answer than I thought it would be. We get into such a routine, don't we?
We absolutely do.
Yeah.
We wake up, drink the same coffee, drive the same way to work.
Yeah.
It's easy to get stuck.
I'm trying to think. Honestly, I think I'd have to go back a few months. But what about you? You're the one asking the question.
Well, for me, it was actually just last weekend.
Oh, really? What'd you do? Was it something wild? Skydiving?
No, nothing that dramatic. But I will say it felt pretty dramatic in my kitchen.
Okay.
I tried to bake sourdough bread from scratch.
Sourdough. Wow, that is ambitious. I feel like everyone was trying that a few years ago, but I've heard it is genuinely really, really hard.
It is so much harder than it looks. And I went all in. I bought the special organic flour. I got the little proofing basket for the dough.
You got the basket. Oh, so you went full artisan baker.
I went full artisan. I even, and this is a little embarrassing, I even named my starter yeast.
You named it.
I did. I named him Bubbles.
You named your yeast Bubbles.
I did. And Bubbles and I, we were having a great time. Right up until the oven got involved.
Ah, yes. The oven. That's usually where the dream meets reality.
It was. Well, let's just say it was a disaster.
A disaster. How bad are we talking here?
A complete and total disaster. I pulled it out of the oven and it looked okay on the outside.
Okay, that's a good start.
But then I tried to cut it and I am not exaggerating. It was as hard as a rock.
Oh, no. Hard as a rock.
You could have built a small house with this loaf of bread. I think I actually bent my bread knife trying to get a slice.
You bent the knife. That's impressive in its own way.
It was a bread brick, a culinary weapon, really.
So what did you do with it? Did you just throw it out and hide the evidence?
Well, I was standing there in my kitchen. There was flour all over the place. I was tired, holding this bent knife. And I had a choice. I could be embarrassed and just, pretend it never happened. Or I could just own it. So I sawed off a tiny piece. I put a ton of butter on it and I ate it.
You ate the rock.
I ate the rock. My jaw was sore for about 2 days after. But you know what? It was kind of fun to try.
And that is exactly what we're talking about today. You tried. It wasn't perfect. In fact, it sounds like it was a dental hazard, but you did the thing.
Exactly. And that brings us right to our theme.
Our theme for this deep dive is all based around a very famous, very simple acronym. I'm sure you've heard it. It's YOLO.
You only live once.
Right. Now, we have to be really clear about something right off the bat, because when people hear YOLO, their minds usually go to some pretty crazy places.
Yes, let's unpack that. Because when I hear YOLO, I immediately think of a teenager doing something really reckless. Exactly. They think of jumping out of airplanes or driving way too fast or, spending all their money in one wild night.
I'm quitting my job to go live on a beach in Thailand. YOLO.
Precisely. And we need to say that is not what we are talking about today.
No, not at all. Please do not quit your job after listening to this.
We are looking at the source material, which focuses on how this mindset, the core idea of YOLO, can change your daily life.
The quiet moments.
Yeah.
The small decisions we make every day.
And most importantly for our listeners, how it can completely change your journey of learning English.
Because, as our sources point out, life is short. It's finite. And yet, so many of us spend so much of it just waiting.
We wait for the right moment.
But here's the thing, and this is really the first big idea from our sources today.
What's that?
The right moment is a myth.
That's a powerful statement. The right moment is a myth.
It really is. We tell ourselves that there will be this perfect time to start something. A time when we're not so tired, when we have a little more money, when we feel completely confident.
But that time, it never actually comes, does it?
Never. So let's dive into this first section of the material. The source uses this really interesting metaphor to explain this whole concept of waiting.
Yes. It calls it the waiting room.
The waiting room. You mean like at a doctor's office?
Exactly like that. I want you to just picture it for a second. Imagine this giant, sterile waiting room. It's got those hard, uncomfortable plastic chairs. The walls are a boring beige color.
And there's that smell. You know that smell. A mix of old paper and like cleaning products.
Yes. And it's so quiet. Maybe there's some old magazines on a coffee table, and they're all from like 3 years ago.
And a clock on the wall just tick, tick, tick.
You're just sitting there, you're holding a little paper ticket with a number on it, and you're just waiting for someone to call your name.
It feels so passive when you put it like that, like you have no power at all.
Exactly. And the source argues that so many of us spend our entire lives just sitting in that waiting room.
That's a really scary thought, spending your whole life waiting, just sitting in one of those beige chairs.
It's terrifying. And while we're sitting there, we tell ourselves stories to justify it. We rationalize why we're not getting up.
What kind of stories do we tell ourselves?
Oh, you know the ones. Things like, I'll start my own business when I have more money saved up.
I see. Or I'll finally travel to Europe when the kids are a little bit older.
Exactly. It's always, I will do X when Y happens. It's a life lived on hold.
It's deferring your own life. It's putting it off for later.
Right. Because in our minds, the door to the doctor's office is locked. But the truth is, the door is wide open. We just haven't tried to stand up and walk through it.
And this connects so directly to learning a language, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. I see this with students all the time. The source actually calls it the English learner's trap.
The trap, that sounds ominous.
It is, because it's a mental trap we set for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's that little voice that says, I'm not ready to talk to a native speaker yet.
I have heard that exact phrase so many times. I'm not ready.
And what comes next? They say, I need to study more grammar books first. I need to memorize 500 more vocabulary words first.
I just need to finally understand the difference between the past perfect and the past continuous, and then I'll be able to say hello to someone.
Exactly. They're waiting to feel ready. They think ready is this destination, this place they'll arrive at if they just study hard enough.
But the source makes such a profound point right here. It says that ready isn't something you wait for.
It's not.
No. The source says, ready is a feeling that is created by taking action.
Wow. Let's just sit with that for a second. I want to make sure everyone listening really heard that. Ready is a feeling created by taking action.
It flips the whole thing on its head. It means you don't feel ready before you do something. You start to feel ready while you're doing it.
Oh, and maybe even after you've done it and you realize you survived.
All right, it's like jumping into a cold swimming pool. You never feel ready when you're standing on the edge shivering. You only start to feel good once you're actually in the water.
That is such a perfect comparison. If you wait until you feel 100% fluent and confident to speak English, you will be waiting for the rest of your life.
You will metaphorically die in that waiting room.
Hopefully not literally, but yes. Metaphorically, you will never leave that chair. You'll just keep reading those same old magazines forever.
This actually brings to mind a personal story from the source material. It's about a specific struggle that the author had when he was learning Spanish.
Oh, right. The story about the conversation club.
Exactly. So the source describes this experience where he really, really wanted to improve his Spanish. He found a local conversation club in his city.
Which is a fantastic way to learn. Real people, actual conversation.
The ideal way to learn. But he waited for months to go. Months. Every single Tuesday night, the club would meet. And every single Tuesday night, he would stay home. He just sat in his own personal waiting room.
Why? What was holding him back?
Fear. Just pure, simple fear. He was terrified of looking stupid.
That is such a deeply human fear. We are all so afraid of looking foolish in front of other people. Psychologists even have a term for it. Social pain.
Social pain.
Yes. Our brains actually process the pain of social embarrassment in the very same areas that process physical pain. So when you're afraid of making a grammar mistake, your brain is literally trying to protect you from getting hurt.
So it's not just him being lazy. It was a genuine self-protection instinct.
Exactly. His brain was telling him, don't go. You don't know enough words. You'll make a mistake. People might laugh at you.
So he stayed home, where it was safe.
But where he was stuck.
until one day he decided to apply this YOLO mindset.
And how did he do that? What was the shift?
He asked himself a very specific question. He thought, do I want to spend the rest of my life being afraid of a few sounds coming out of my mouth?
Wow, few sounds coming out of my mouth.
That phrasing just strips all the power away from the fear, doesn't it?
It creates so much perspective. At the end of the day, language is just sound. It's just air vibrating. It's just a tool for communication.
Exactly. It's not a life or death surgery. It's just noise we make to try and understand each other.
So he finally went.
He went. He walked to the club, he opened that door, and he sat down at the table.
And let me guess. He survived the experience.
He did. And I'm sure he made mistakes. He probably used the wrong verb tense in his very first sentence.
Of course.
That's part of it.
But this is where the source brings in a fantastic point of validation and asks the question, what is the absolute worst thing that can happen?
Right. Let's actually play that out. Let's imagine the worst case scenario. You go to the club, you try to speak, you make a mistake, someone doesn't understand what you said.
Then what happens?
You smile.
Yeah.
Try saying it a different way. Maybe you use your hands to gesture.
And the world keeps turning.
The world keeps turning. Nobody dies. The sky doesn't fall down. The grammar police don't show up and arrest you.
The grammar police. I like that. Sir, put your hands up. You just used the wrong preposition.
It just doesn't happen. And that's the key takeaway from this whole section. The waiting room is comfortable. It's safe.
But nothing grows there.
Nothing grows there. No new skills, no new friendships, no new memories. YOLO is the key that unlocks the door. You have to be the one to turn the handle and step outside.
I really love that image, unlocking the door to your own life.
Me too.
Yeah.
Now, that brings us to the second section of our deep dive. The source material paints a very, very specific picture here to help us practice this mindset in a real-world situation.
Yes. This one is called the coffee shop challenge.
I love this scenario because it's so relatable. I think every single person learning a language has felt this specific kind of anxiety.
It's completely universal. So for everyone listening, I want you to just visualize this. Close your eyes for a moment if you're able to.
Unless you are driving. If you're driving, please keep your eyes on the road.
Yes, of course, safety first. But if you're washing dishes or just walking, imagine this scene. You're in a new city. Maybe you're on a trip to London or New York.
And you find this beautiful little cafe. It's trendy, you know. It smells like freshly roasted coffee beans and maybe cinnamon. There's some nice quiet indie music playing.
And you want to order something special. You don't just want a boring old drink. You want a treat for yourself. You're on vacation, right?
The source gives a very specific and kind of complicated order. It's a bit of a tongue twister for a beginner.
It really is. The desired order is a double shot decaf latte with almond milk and just a little bit of honey.
Whoa. Okay, let me even try to say that. A double shot decaf latte with almond milk and just a little bit of honey.
That's a lot of different variables in one drink order.
It is. Think about all the grammar packed in there. You've got compound nouns, specific adjectives, prepositions.
And that qualifier at the end, just a little bit.
That's actually a tricky thing to say naturally. So you're standing there in line. You're rehearsing this sentence over and over in your head. Double shot. Almond milk.
But then you look up at the person behind the counter, the barista.
And here it comes. Here comes the fear again.
The internal monologue starts running wild.
Oh, the barista looks really busy. He looks kind of stressed out.
And there's such a long line of people behind me. They all look like they're in a hurry. They're checking their watches.
If I stumble on my words, everyone is going to stare at me.
I'm going to hold everyone up. I'll be an inconvenience, a nuisance.
So you finally get to the front of the line. The barista looks at you and says, "What can I get for you?" And what happens? What's the easy out?
The learner panics. That waiting room instinct kicks in hard.
Yeah.
And they just say, "Black coffee, please."
Black coffee.
Two simple words, easy to pronounce, impossible to mess up.
But here's the quiet tragedy of that moment.
They don't even like black coffee.
Exactly. So now they're standing there with this cup of hot, bitter water that they secretly hate.
They compromised what they truly wanted because they were afraid.
It's actually heartbreaking when you think about it. I know it sounds small. It's just a cup of coffee. But it's really sad.
It is, because that small moment represents something so much bigger. It represents shrinking yourself. You made yourself smaller to avoid possibly making other people uncomfortable for a few seconds.
So true. So how do we apply the YOLO mindset in this exact situation? How do we actually get the latte we want?
The source says you have to consciously shift your focus. You have to focus on the fact that you only have one chance at this moment.
Right. You are In this city this one time. You are in this specific cafe this one time. This moment will never, ever happen again.
You have to say to yourself, I have one chance to enjoy this afternoon. I want my special latte. I deserve to have my special latte.
And in that moment, you choose to prioritize your own desire over your fear of inconvenience.
Even if your voice shakes a little bit when you say it.
Even if your hands are a little sweaty.
Even if you have to slow down and point at the menu to help explain.
Even if you have to repeat yourself. Almond milk. Almond milk.
And the source analyzes this moment, getting that latte, as a huge victory.
But why is it huge? I mean, on the surface, it's just a latte.
It's huge because you proved something to yourself. You proved that your wants and your desires matter. You took up space in the world using your new language.
That's a powerful way to put it.
Yeah.
You're collecting evidence for yourself that you can, in fact, do it.
And from a practical standpoint, the source notes something really important about the baristas themselves.
Oh, right. What about them?
Most baristas are actually really nice. They are happy to help you. They want to make the drink that you want.
That's true. Their job is to make you happy with your order.
And what if they aren't? What if you get that one barista who is rude or impatient?
The source has such a great line for this. I love this attitude. It says, that's their problem, not yours.
Exactly. If they are in a grumpy mood, that is about their bad day. You don't have to let it ruin yours.
I love that so much. That is their problem, not yours. Yeah. You're just a customer trying to buy a product, and you have every right to do so.
So you get your coffee, you practiced your English in a real situation, you faced your fear, and you won.
It's a win-win-win.
It really is. And I bet that coffee tastes so much better because you had to fight for it a little bit.
It tastes like victory.
It tastes like almond milk and honey and pure, sweet victory.
So we've talked about getting out of the waiting room, and we've talked about the coffee shop.
Now we need to talk about one of the biggest things that steals our time. Because if you only live once, then your time is the most precious resource you have.
Yes. The source calls this modern problem digital distraction.
And this is a huge, huge issue for almost everyone today. We're talking about our phones.
We waste so much of our one life just staring at these little glowing rectangles in our hands.
The source actually introduces a specific vocabulary word for this. It's a perfect word for modern life.
Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
It sounds so ominous, like something from a horror movie.
It kind of is. It basically means mindlessly scrolling through bad news or social media feeds for hours and hours on end.
Just swiping up, swiping up, swiping up. You're not even really reading or processing anything, are you?
No, not at all. You're just zoning out. You're in a sort of trance.
And what are we looking at when we do this? The source specifically mentions the comparison trap.
Oh, yes. This is absolutely deadly for our mental health and happiness.
You open up an app like Instagram, you see all these influencers.
And they're always in some amazing place. They're in Bali, they're in Greece.
They have perfect bodies and perfect clothes, and they're eating these perfect-looking avocado toast breakfasts.
And you look around at your own life. Maybe you're just sitting on your couch in your pajamas. You can see there are dirty dishes in the sink.
And you start to think, my life is so boring.
I must be failing. Why doesn't my life look like that?
But the source reminds us of something absolutely vital here. The YOLO mindset isn't about having a perfect life.
No, it is not about living that filtered, edited, online version of a life.
It's about being fully present in your own actual life. The messy, complicated real life that you have right now.
Being here now. Appreciating the bread you baked, even if it turned out to be hard as a rock.
Exactly. It's about being present in your own kitchen, not just looking at pictures of someone else's perfect kitchen on a screen.
The source shares a personal routine from the author. It's a new rule he implemented in his own life to fight back against this doom-scrolling habit.
Okay, what's the rule?
No phone for the first hour of the day.
The entire first hour. Whoa! That is really hard for a lot of people.
It is. Most of us, the first thing we do when we wake up is grab our phone off the nightstand. It's the first thing we touch.
We let the entire world rush into our brains before we've even had a chance to fully wake up. We let in the news, the work emails, all the stress.
Exactly. So instead of grabbing the phone, what does he do?
The source lists 3 very simple, very grounding actions.
Okay, let's hear them.
Action number 1, look out the window.
That's nice. Just observe the world. See what the weather is doing. Is it sunny? Is it raining?
Just connect with reality. Action number 2, breathe.
And not just shallow breathing, right? But deep, conscious breathing, in and out.
Right. And action number 3, think of one single thing you're excited about for the day.
Just one thing.
It doesn't have to be anything big. It can be incredibly small, like, I'm excited to have my first cup of coffee.
Or, I'm excited to wear my favorite sweater today because it's a little chilly outside.
Exactly. This simple routine grounds you in your own life. It reclaims that first hour. It means you start the day on your terms, not the internet's terms.
Time is such a huge part of this whole philosophy, isn't it?
It's the central part. The source really emphasizes that time is the only resource we have that we can never get more of.
We can always earn more money. If you lose your money, you can find a way to make it back.
We can buy more things. If you break your phone, you can just go buy a new one.
We can even learn more words to add to our vocabulary.
But you can never, ever get back the last 5 minutes you just spent.
Once that time is gone, it is gone forever.
That's a really sobering thought, isn't it?
It really is. It makes you want to be much more intentional with how you spend your time.
Right. So for our listeners who are learning English, the source suggests a very practical trade-off.
A trade-off.
Yes. Instead of spending 30 minutes doom scrolling on your phone,
which gives you nothing but anxiety and a feeling of being inadequate.
You trade that for just 5 minutes of journaling in English.
Just 5 minutes. That's so manageable.
It could be even less. The idea is just to write one single sentence.
The example given in the source is so simple. It's not poetry. It's just a simple observation.
The example is, today I saw a beautiful bird.
That's it. Today I saw a beautiful bird.
So why does a sentence like that even matter? It seems so small and insignificant compared to those influencers in Bali.
It matters because it's real.
It actually happened to you. You were the one who saw the bird.
It is your life. It is your observation. And you are using the English language as a tool to document your own reality.
Exactly. You're connecting the language to your actual lived experience, not just passively consuming someone else's highlight reel on a screen.
That's a really beautiful way to think about it. It's about quality over quantity. It turns English from a subject you study into a tool you use to notice your own life more clearly.
Okay, so this brings us to the final section of the source material.
And this part is maybe the most philosophical.
It is. It's called The Philosophy of Mistakes.
Ooh, I love that title. The Philosophy of Mistakes.
The source states a core belief right at the start of this section. It says, mistakes are a sign of life.
Mistakes are a sign of life. That is a very, very different way of looking at mistakes.
What does that mean to you when you hear it?
Well, I think we're all conditioned to believe that mistakes are a sign of failure, or maybe a sign of stupidity.
Right. You see the red ink all over your test paper from the teacher.
But this philosophy says that if you are making mistakes, it means you're doing something. It means you are trying. It means you are moving forward.
And the opposite of that, if you aren't making any mistakes,
then you are probably standing still. You're still sitting in that waiting room.
Right. If the English you speak is perfect every single time, it probably just means you are only saying the easy things you already know how to say perfectly.
You aren't pushing yourself. You aren't expanding your boundaries. You aren't growing. You're playing it safe.
And the source uses this wonderful classic metaphor to illustrate this point. It's the ship metaphor.
Yes. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are for.
Let's really unpack that. The first part, a ship in the harbor is safe.
Think about a harbor. The water is calm. There are no big waves. There are no storms. The ship is protected. It won't sink.
It's comfortable. It's safe.
But that is not what ships are for.
Ships are these incredible engineering marvels. They are built to sail the open ocean.
They are designed to handle big waves. They are built strong enough to get through storms. Their purpose is to travel.
And if you just leave a ship sitting in the harbor for too long, what happens to it?
It doesn't just stay perfectly new and safe. It starts to rot.
It gets rusty.
It gets rusty.
Yeah.
Barnacles start to grow all over the bottom of it. The wood begins to decay. The very safety of the harbor is what actually ends up destroying the ship.
Wow. That's such a powerful image. The safety itself becomes the danger.
Exactly. And for an English learner, the harbor is silence.
Huh.
Or it's staying in a classroom where you only do written exercises and never actually speak.
It's safe there. No one can laugh at your pronunciation.
So you're not being a ship. You're not using the language for its true purpose.
And the purpose of language is connection. It's exploration. It's expressing who you are.
And all of that involves risk.
It involves sailing into some waves.
It involves making some mistakes along the way.
So the source argues that our mistakes are actually proof of our bravery.
They're like little badges of honor.
They are the evidence that you are living.
Yeah.
That you have left the safety of the harbor and are out on the open sea.
That is just so encouraging. I think every single one of us needs to hear that message.
We really do. Especially because The whole system, starting in school, conditions us to hate making mistakes.
Right. In school, mistakes are bad. You get a lower grade. We are trained from a young age to avoid them at all costs.
But the source gives us this final, crucial reminder. Life is not a test.
Life is a journey, not a test.
There are no grades in life.
There is no teacher following you around with a red pen, waiting to give you an F because you used the wrong verb tense when you were ordering coffee.
No.
Yeah.
There's only experience. Did you communicate your idea? Did you get the coffee you wanted? Did you connect with another human being even for a moment?
That is the only thing that matters.
That just takes so much pressure off, doesn't it? You can just relax and try to communicate.
It really, really does.
So we have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the waiting room and the importance of leaving it.
We talked about the coffee shop challenge and ordering what you truly want in life.
We talked about the dangers of doom scrolling versus the power of being present.
And we just finished with the beautiful metaphor of the ship in the harbor.
A lot of big ideas. But we want to leave you with something very practical you can do.
Yes. As we start to wrap up, the source material issues one final challenge to you, the listener.
And we always love a good challenge here on The Deep Dive.
This is a specific task for today, not for tomorrow, not for when you're finally ready, for today.
Okay, what is it?
The task is this. Do one thing today that makes your heart beat just a little bit faster.
Ooh, makes your heart beat a little faster. I like that. It means you're a little bit nervous, but in a good way.
Just a little bit of that excited, nervous energy.
So what are some examples of what that could be?
Well, you could ask a stranger a question in English, even something as simple as, "Excuse me, what time is it?"
Well, that definitely gets the heart rate up if you're not used to it.
You could send a message to an old friend you haven't spoken to in a long time.
That takes courage, too. Just
Yeah.
a simple, hey, I was thinking of you today.
Or, and this is a reference to our intro, you could go out, buy some flour, and try to bake that bread.
Just maybe don't make it as hard as your bread brick.
Maybe start with something a little easier, like cookies.
Please. Learn from her mistakes.
But the point is just to do something, to take one small step out of that waiting room.
Just one step. Just turn the handle and open the door a little bit.
The source gives one final piece of encouragement that we want to share.
It says you are doing great.
And we need you to hear that. You really, truly are.
Your English is improving every single time you listen.
Just by being here, by choosing to listen to this deep dive, you are doing the work. You are feeding your brain.
You're building those new connections. You are a ship that is sailing out of the harbor right now at this very moment.
So please, keep going.
Keep going. And always remember the theme.
You only live once.
Make it a story worth telling.
I love that line so much. Make it a story worth telling. Even if that story is about accidentally making a bread brick.
Especially if it's about the bread brick. Those are the best stories.
Well, that is all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thank you so much for listening.
Go out there and be a little bit brave today.
And we will see you next time.
See you next time.